Hey Pisces, welcome to March. So Pisces, this is a big shift month for you, okay? Because you've had a lot of planets in your sign for a while now. They're going to start marching off into the sign of Aries, okay? So some of that's going to happen this month. Pisces, you're associated with the term I believe. And Aries is associated with the term I am. So we're going to have a big shift between what we believe and how we take action. And so these planets, like I said, are going to be making their way out of your sign. So Venus already moved into Aries. Mercury leaves the beginning of the month, leaves Pisces and heads into Aries. We have the sun moving on 3/21. We have Neptune moving on the 30th of the month. And then later in May, Saturn will move out of Pisces. Now, I think they're going to retrograde back in a bit, but you're going to see the shift. You're going to start to see some relief. And, I'm always talking about when I see planets change houses, I don't always see the dramaticness of difference like I see between the change between Pisces to Aries. Okay, last sign of the zodiac, first sign of the zodiac. So you're going to feel significantly different, Pisces. And I think that's a good thing, okay? Now, we have the Virgo full moon this month, and Virgo is right across from you. You're the 12th house, Virgo's the 6th house, so you're always in opposition. And Pisces, you rule all the things that retreat us back and away. You rule secrets. You rule things that are hidden. I've heard you said as the subconscious mind. And then across from that is Virgo, and Virgo's all the human stuff, putting everything in order, getting up, doing your chores, making your bed, brushing your teeth, all that stuff. It's showing up, and Pisces is stepping back and away. So this Virgo full moon and lunar eclipse on the 14th of the month is going to be a big deal for you. And this is the garbage out lunar eclipse, right? This is the purge eclipse. So you need to look at this because this is important. It's going to be pulling on you no matter what. So you may want to offer something up in the purge. It may be a belief system. It doesn't have to be something literal. It can be a way you think about something. And I would suggest that you offer something up and then pay attention to what else is being removed, because it's almost like these eclipses come in and they just take the things that can't hold on anymore. Okay, so we're going to allow that space for the purge. We're going to see what isn't aligning, what needs to go. And then you're going to make space for the solar eclipse that's going to come in on the 29th of the month. Okay, so I think this is going to be really interesting times for you, Pisces. I think you're really overdue for these planets to move out of your sign. I think you've had enough. Just as they get to the end, they kind of kick up their influence, so to speak. So pay attention to what you're being shown right now.
Okay, Pisces, we're here with your reading with the zodiac houses. So we're going to have a one card for each house. All right. And let me just put one in the middle here too. Okay, so we're going to have themes for each house. I'm going to walk you through them all. Let's see what your theme card is here in the middle. I haven't looked at any of these cards yet, just so you know. And you've got the 10 of Pentacles. So this is a beautiful card to have your theme for the month. This is a card of all is well, right? Pentacles is anything of value. Some people just call it money. This looks like your legacy, right? It looks like the father, maybe the son, the child, the family life. Okay, we've got a kingfisher down here, which is like a rare sighting. And we see everything's really beautiful. Okay, so a fabulous card to have as your theme for the month, Pisces. And you've been dealing with a lot, Pisces, having all those planets in your sign for so long. You're going to start feeling a little bit relief as they move out of your sign, although we do know they're going to retrograde back and forth for a little while. Things are starting to lighten for you, and you're seeing that all is well. That's what this card says to me. Now, as we start with the first house, this is Aries house ruled by Mars. It's associated with the term I am, okay? This is the house of your childhood, and it's the house of action because Mars is the planet of motivation. So in your first house, I use the Salvador Dali tarot deck here, which is an interesting deck. And we've got this lovely four of Is this the Four of Wands or the Two of Wands? It might just, no, I think it's the Four of Wands, because the Four of Wands usually looks like a party or like almost like a wedding. So we see a lot of fun starting off here. There's entertainment, there's music, there's fun. We're starting to see some forward movement for you, a little lighter movement for you, Pisces. So you're starting off here that your public image, because that's what the first house is one of joy, all right? Now, the second house is Taurus's house, and it's ruled by Venus, and we know that Venus is retrograde this month. So we know that we're taking a peek at our relationship with money this month, our relationship with our self-value, and you have the Nine of Boons, or the Nine of Pentacles here. And it's interesting because I call the second house a lot like Mother Earth house, all the beautiful things. And there she is. She's got her fruits, and she's got a bird here, and she looks like maybe she has a beehive behind her. So there's a lot of lush things, but it's almost like the simple things of life, really enjoying those things. Okay, so there you are in the second house with the card of plenty. 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles as a theme. Okay, now, not too bad way to start it off, Pisces. Now we go into the third house, and this is Gemini's house. This is the house of I think. This is the house of communication and how you learn. And it has a lot to do with the people around you. This is the house of your environment. Here's the King of Chalices, or the King of Cups here. So it almost looks like there's a lot here about there being plenty. There's beauty. We're sitting here. Look, there's another bee here. I thought that was a beehive in the one before. So we've got this, is this the same deck? No, those are different decks. So we've got a king in your third position in your environment. It looks like a beautiful meal. So far we see parties and beauty of nature and all this good food around, and a lot of emotional satisfaction here also. Fourth house, Cancer's house. It's the house of the home. Cancer's ruled by the moon. And so this is the house of the mother, is what I think, of the nurturing energy. It's like your root chakra, associated with the term I feel. And you have the high priest here. So this is your first major arcana that's shown up. And as much as he looks like the magician here, he's actually the high priest. He actually reminds me of Moses climbing up the mountain to receive the 10 commandments. That's what that reminds me of. Okay. So this is card number 5, number of change. And there's the high priest. And interesting, because he would be matched with the high priestess, and the high priestess, this is her house. So we've got some companionship here. We've got some spiritual energy coming in, and, feeling like it was the 10 commandments. It's almost like the rules of the home. That's what I was getting. So it's almost like, because isn't the 10 commandments the one that tells us like, it's like, I shall not steal, I shall not this and that. But I know there was more commandments that came out about like dietary. I don't think that was in the top 10, but there were a lot of commandments. Okay. So, I was kind of getting like, making the rules about who's in your house or not, making sure that it's not just like everybody and their brothers invited in. I see you in a power position. I see you bringing a lot of spirituality into the picture and connection. But I see some things about rules of the home. Okay. Now we move into the 5th house. This is the house of Leo. This is the house of the term I will. This is the house that's ruled by the sun. It has a lot of themes of joy and fun and creativity and romance, and it rules children because of their joy. And here's the Weaver of Boons. This is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, she's the queen of the hearth and the home. So we keep getting all these things about home, about gardening. Maybe you're really excited about spring energy, about planting your garden. There's a lot here about like hosting, having people into your home, and having a lot of joy of just, she's barefoot. She's a barefoot queen. She's an earth queen. It's really beautiful to see the joy on her face. Okay. Now we move into Virgo's house. This is the house of wellness, because Virgo is associated with wellness, and it's about your routines and habits. It's associated with your day job. It's a house of service versus servitude, so making sure you're not over giving. And it's called the house of I analyze, okay? It's a Mercury ruled house, and I think of it as a house of mental health also. And we've got the 5 of Cups here. We've got this boat and this really big bridge. This is from the Impressionist Tarot deck. And I've been telling people, these decks really wanted to be here today. I use a pendulum to choose, and I had to go through so many decks before I found the ones that wanted to work with me. And I used some more obscure ones like the Impressionist Tarot and the Dali Tarot. 5 of Cups says it's a painting by Claude Monet. So if you know that work at all, that's Monet. And the book says, other painters paint a bridge, a house, a boat. I want to paint the air in which the bridge, the house, and the boat are to be found. The beauty of the air around them, and that is nothing less than the impossible. It's pretty cool. And so the air around them, that feels a lot about like your environment and making sure that you, I kind of get the vibe that you're just like, you're the host, you're the one in charge. Don't let other people take that away from you. It also says that the 5 of Cups illustrates the need to let go of the past, to forgive our mistakes and make the most of our voyage through life. All right, so there it is in your 6th house. Now, we move into the 7th house, Libra's house, Venus ruled. We know Venus is in retrograde. This is the house of relationships. On this sheet of paper, it says legal issues. I don't like that. I like legal matters, okay? And you've got the World Tree. This is the World card. This is a fabulous card. We've got a gigantic snake at the bottom. We know we're in the year of the snake. We've got what looks like maybe like almost like a heron. Maybe it's an egret flying. Okay, so we've got energy on the earth, energy up in the air. We've got a major arcana. This is our 2nd major arcana that's shown up. That shows that there's more attention in that house, almost like a pointer finger pointing at that house. So we got attention in the 4th house, the house of the home. And the 7th house, the house of relationships. This is the World card. This is when there's like an award given, or you're really seen and celebrated. You may be hosting some kind of like celebration party. But remember, there's a snake there. And so we want to be careful about, I keep getting like, be careful about everybody that you let into your home. Okay. Isn't that what the evil eye was used for? To protect against envy? Okay. That's the vibe I get from this. But a really good card of success and closure. So if you've been waiting on some kind of deal to come together, we see a success happening there. Let's move into Scorpio's house. This is the 8th house. This is the house of I desire. Okay, because this is house of sex, death, taxes, joint finances, inheritances, other people's money. It's a house of power. It's quite a house. Okay, and you've got the High Priest, 2nd time getting him. This one is called Sage, okay, up here in the 5th house. So there's power here. I think of the High Priest also as a great advisor, okay? So you may need some advice in the matters. You may need some real estate advice. You may need some legal advice in matters of like your property, some contracts, some big money items. Okay, the High Priest there. Card number 5. A lot of power there. So 4th house, 7th house, 8th house. Now, the 9th house is Sagittarius's house. This is the house, I think of it as like the bigger picture, the higher mind. It's the house of religion, or the opposite, breaking free of religion, publishing, teaching. This is the house of the student and the teacher, and the house of foreign travel. Oh my goodness, you got the High Priestess again. The High Priest. This one is called the oldest one. Look at that, like this tree, this knowledge tree, this wisdom. So you got to really, Pisces, you got to read up about the High Priest. Card Major Arcana number 5. It's shown up 3 times so far in the 4th house, the 8th house, and the 9th house. And this is a lot there about advice, wisdom, okay? This beautiful old tree. And so you're being asked to turn to your advisors for help, whoever it is. Like, you're listening to this reading right now. That's one way of getting advice. I see you turning to a financial advisor. I see you turning to some people in your family who can give you great advice, okay? There's something here about the wisdom of your elders. All right. And with the 10 of Pentacles right in the middle, that's like your grandfather or someone like the head of your family, so to speak. So a lot here about wisdom and advice, but a lot of power. It's a really good reading. All right, let's see what else. Do we have a chance for the High Priest to show up again? We've got it. I don't think we can. I think we got it from each deck. Okay, so here we are in the 10th house. This is Capricorn's house. This is the house, this would be like the house of the father, the house of your career, your long-term standing in the world, your reputation. It's the house of fame and awards. So the King of Swords is showing up here, okay? He's the King of Air, and he's no nonsense, and he's big, big business. And it's St. John's wort from this herbal tarot. All right. Now, so the St. John's wort, it's like that bright, that yellow. We take it in the winter here for sadness, right? It's supposed to bring like liquid sunshine. So you've got the King of Swords, no nonsense, big business in the house of career and long-term standing in the world. Looks like there's some big decisions being made. Also, you cannot let your emotions get the best of you, because remember, you have that 5 of Cups here, encouraging you to let go of the past, to forgive. And then the King of Swords, even though he's not emotional, he's logical. But with St. John's wort mixed into it, it kind of shows me that like those emotions need to be dealt with. If there's ongoing sadness, maybe this is a good plant for you. Again, I'm not a naturopath. We do have one in-house if you want some advice. He's very affordable. And you can find him on our website, tarotintime.com, THYME. All right, so a lot of power in the house of your business, of your career, of all the important stuff. I call this is the midheaven point, right, of your chart. This is what's raining down over the whole chart. So the Wise One and the King of Swords, I mean, they're good ones to have on your team. Now, as we move into the 11th house, this is Aquarius's house of your hopes, your goals, your dreams, the bigger picture, newness, new technology, all of that. It's your friends, it's your social life. And here's the Standing Stone. This is the Justice card, another major arcana. This says harm none. Okay, and we call it card number 11, which this is house number 11 also. But in 11, we call it 2 in numerology. So you got relationships there. So you may have more friends coming in. You may be really getting in touch with your hopes and your dreams, finding the balance, the bigger picture, because you're getting a lot of advice, okay? And this is a Libra card, which rules legal matters and contracts. So you may be maybe you're considering selling a property. But again, remember that with all these retrogrades, it's a good time to research and think about it and plan and sketch and all that. But you want to wait until these retrogrades end. So please don't take any immediate action in that regard till after the 15th of April. Okay, now, the 11th house is the house I know, right? That's the term that goes with it, I know. And the 12th house we're moving into, the house of I believe. This is Pisces, so we can undo some old belief systems. We can undo some old karma. Okay, this is the house of the undoing, and it sounds kind of negative. A lot of these things, like if you read old astrology books, like I'm obsessed with for some reason, you'll see like it's be a little negative sometimes. Like this is the house of like how you do yourself in. But come on, I have my moon in the 12th house. I don't want to think about how I'm going to do myself in all the time. I want to think about how I'm going to break up old karma, and how I'm going to advocate for myself, and how I'm going to break cycles, and how I'm going to connect and retreat, because the 12th house is stepping away. 3 of Swords shows up here. So this pain keeps showing up, right? It came up. It's interesting because it showed up in the 6th house with the 5 of Cups there. We're talking about letting go of some old stuff. And then the 6th house is right across from the 12th house. And you've got the 3 of Challenges, 3 of Swords, some of that old pain. Almost looks like childhood pain. Okay, so you're going to have to deal with some of that. Remember, we have that great purge with the Virgo full moon and lunar eclipse that wants to take from us, purge from us, so we can purge up some of this sadness and get it out. So I just continually see you, we're all dealing with some sadness. This world is intense. I see you processing some of that and releasing some of that. Some of that could get written down on some sheets of paper so that when we come up to the purge on the 14th of the month, then maybe you burn that list over the toilet and get rid of it, okay? So dealing with some of that human stuff, but it really looks like all in all, things are very well. There is themes of getting advice and being a great advisor. It looks like you're going to have a lot of guests, house guests, or maybe you're just making your home beautiful. There's some celebration energy here. It's kind of like hot and cold energy, but overall, everything says all is well. Now, let's roll some dice. Uranus in the sign of Libra in the 5th house. Okay, so Uranus rules the sign Aquarius. Uranus is like the lightning bolt of unexpected, and it rules friends. In the sign of Libra, relationship house, right? So 11th house was Uranus's house. Libra's house over here with the World card. And then you got the 5th house, the house of fun. So I think you should be concentrating on gardening. I don't know if you're a gardener, but that'd be a really creative hobby for you that could help soothe some of your sadness. And it looks like you're going to get some new friends showing up. So they could show up suddenly. Retrograde often brings people from the past back. So you may have an old friend coming back, coming to visit or showing up or running into them. And the 5th house is a house of fun. So I would enjoy it. Now, let me give you some power times for the month of March. And you rolled Libra. Well, you rolled Leo. So Leo starts, the moon goes into Leo on Sunday the 9th at 6:59 p.m. and it stays there Monday the 10th, Tuesday the 11th until Wednesday the 12th at 3:56 a.m. These are power times for you. We go into Friday the 14th, right after our full moon, a little later in the day at 2:59 p.m. The moon moves into Libra. So Eastern Standard Time from Friday the 14th at 2:59 p.m. through the 15th, through the 16th, into the 17th till 3:30 a.m., which is St. Patty's Day. And then we have Uranus, which rules Aquarius. So you get more power days towards the end of the month, starting on March 24th, Monday, 11:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time through Tuesday through Wednesday. And then really the moon moves into Pisces, which you are. So you could have more power days the 26th, the 27th, the 28th until 4:36 p.m. Thanks for joining me, Pisces. Have a good one.